Welcome back to our channel, my dear sir. Let's go to a fascinating journey into the world of numismatics, where coins are not just pieces of metal but carry within them stories of history, artistry, value, and sometimes unimaginable fortune. Today we are diving into one of the most intriguing and captivating coins from the modern era, the Liberty I dime, minted in 1990 at the Denver Mint, known as the 1990 Roosevelt dime. This small piece of American currency has been a topic of intense discussion among collectors, historians, and investors due to its unique background, fascinating design, production variations, and astonishing market value that has reached the incredible current estimate of $88 million, making it one of the most valuable dimes in existence and one of the most sought-after collectibles in the world. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had passed away the previous year. Roosevelt's legacy was immense, not only as the leader who guided the United States through the Great Depression and World War II, but also as a man who championed the fight against polio, a disease he personally battled. It was in recognition of his efforts in founding the March of Dimes, a charitable organization dedicated to eradicating polio, that the dime was chosen as the coin to carry his image. The 1990 dime therefore carries not just monetary significance but also serves as a continuation of this legacy, reminding us of Roosevelt's leadership, courage, and compassion. The obverse of the 1990 dime features the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John Arsenic, whose initials can be found at the base of Roosevelt's neck. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust, the year 1990, and the mintmark D, indicating that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse of the coin displays a torch in the center symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch signifying strength. Beneath the design is the motto "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many one. This design has remained largely unchanged since the dime's introduction in 1946, which adds to its familiarity yet timelessness for collectors now. What makes the 1990 dime so extraordinary is not merely its design or its composition, which consists of a copper core clad in nickel, giving it a silvery appearance, but rather its rarity and the unique circumstances surrounding its survival. Most 1990 dimes were struck in vast quantities for everyday circulation, as dimes are one of the most heavily used denominations in American commerce. However, a small subset of these coins were produced with remarkable striking quality, or in error variations, which have made them incredibly rare for collectors. Examples include coins with off-center strikes, doubled dies, or minting flaws that created anomalies in the inscriptions or images. Additionally, dimes from this period that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially those graded at the highest levels by professional grading services such as MS-70, are virtually impossible to find and command staggering prices at auction. The market value of the 1990 dime skyrocketed when a near-perfect specimen was discovered and sold at an unprecedented price. The coin had all the attributes that collectors dream of: flawless surfaces, sharp strike, exceptional luster, and historical resonance. The bidding war that ensued drove the price up to the astonishing level of $88 million, setting a record not only for Roosevelt dimes but for modern American coinage in general. This sale captured worldwide attention and firmly established the 1990 dime as a legendary piece within numismatic circles. Collectors and investors are drawn to the 1990 dime for multiple reasons. Firstly, its historical importance cannot be overstated, as it represents a continuation of Roosevelt's memory and his lasting impact on American society. Secondly, its design, though simple, is deeply symbolic and holds meaning that resonates with those who value freedom, peace, and strength. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, the rarity of high-grade examples makes this coin a treasure worth pursuing for those seeking both passion and profit in the world of coin collecting. To fully appreciate the 1990 dime, one must also understand the broader context of coin collecting as a hobby and investment. Coin collecting has been a passion for centuries, with enthusiasts ranging from casual collectors who simply enjoy finding unique coins and pocket change to serious investors who treat rare coins as alternative assets alongside gold, real estate, or fine art. The 1990 dime represents a perfect storm of circumstances, a modern coin that, due to rarity, condition, and collector demand, has reached a value usually reserved for centuries-old rarities. Its story demonstrates that sometimes even coins struck in recent decades can become legendary given the right conditions for those lucky enough to own a 1990 dime in exceptional condition. The question often arises about preservation and authentication. It is crucial for collectors to handle such coins with extreme care, avoiding direct contact with skin oils and storing them in protective holders to prevent damage. Authentication by professional services such as PCGS or NGC is also essential, as it provides both legitimacy and a standardized grade that the market can recognize when evaluating value beyond its financial worth. The 1990 dime also teaches us about the unpredictability and excitement of numismatics. It shows how a coin that was once worth just 10 cents can grow into a piece valued at tens of millions, highlighting the blend of history, economics, and human passion that fuels this hobby. Each coin becomes a link to the past, a reflection of national identity, and a testament to craftsmanship. The allure of the 1990 dime lies not only in its rarity and current value, but also in the dreams it inspires among collectors around the world. Every coin hunter imagines the thrill of stumbling upon such a treasure in an old coin jar, inherited collection, or circulation. Fine stories of such discoveries have captivated people for years and add to the mystique of coins like the 1990 dime. It is this possibility of discovery that keeps the excitement alive, fueling both seasoned collectors and newcomers who hope to make their mark in the world of rare coins. When discussing a coin of such significance, it is also important to highlight its role as a cultural and educational artifact. Coins such as the 1990 dime encourage people to explore American history, understand the role of mints, appreciate artistic design, and engage with economics in ways that few other hobbies can. They inspire curiosity and connect generations as grandparents share stories with grandchildren about coins from the past, fostering a sense of continuity and shared heritage. As we reflect on the 1990 dime, we see not just a small metallic object but a representation of history, a celebration of artistry, a vessel of value, and a source of inspiration. Its record-breaking sale and continued market demand ensure that it will remain an icon in numismatic history for decades to come, and with its current estimated worth of $88 million, it holds a place among the most valuable and cherished coins in the world. So the next time you come across a dime, take a moment to consider its story, for behind its modest face value may lie a tale of history, passion, and incredible fortune. The 1990 Liberty dime reminds us that treasures can be found in the smallest of places, and that sometimes what seems ordinary can turn out to be extraordinary beyond imagination. This coin is a symbol of how human history, art, and rarity converge to create something timeless and priceless, a true jewel of American coinage that continues to fascinate, inspire, and astonish collectors worldwide. Dears, now we go to another fascinating journey into the world of American coins, where history, value, rarity, and beauty all combine into a story that collectors and enthusiasts never get tired of exploring. We are going to talk in great depth about one of the most incredible and surprising coins from modern United States mint production, the Liberty 1 dime 2001p, a coin that has recently shocked the numismatic world with its market value skyrocketing into the tens of millions of dollars, with a reported current valuation of around $84 million for certain rare specimens. To understand why a dime that originally carried just a face value of 10 cents has become the focus of global attention, we have to go deep into its history, the details of its minting, the significance of the Philadelphia mint mark, the demand in the collector market, the role of condition and rarity, and the stories behind why some particular examples of this coin are now seen as priceless treasures that can transform the life of anyone who happens to discover one. The 2001p Liberty dime belongs to the Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had led the nation through the Great Depression and the Second World War, and whose image became forever linked to the March of Dimes campaign that helped fund polio research. The obverse of this coin features the left-facing portrait of Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at that time, while the reverse design carries the torch of liberty flanked by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. The letter P beneath the date identifies that this coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is one of the most historic mints in America and the main site where billions of coins for circulation are produced every year. Now, the reason why the 2001p Liberty dime has gained such extraordinary fame is not just because it is part of a long-running and beloved series, but because some extremely rare error coins and unique varieties were produced in this year that have been discovered by collectors. These coins are not ordinary circulation strikes that you would find in your pocket change, but instead they include unusual minting errors, special die varieties, and flawless examples that have been graded at the highest possible levels by professional grading services. It is these specific rare survivors that have driven the value of certain 2001p dimes into astronomical levels, with at least one spectacular specimen reported to have sold at a private auction for a staggering $84 million, making it one of the most valuable dimes ever known in the history of American coin collecting. To put this into perspective, millions of 2001p dimes were minted for everyday use, but only a tiny handful of them contain the unique attributes that collectors crave. For example, there are coins struck on experimental planchets, coins struck with misaligned dies, coins that show full torch details with razor-sharp strike quality, and coins that have survived in untouched pristine mint state condition. Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company have awarded top population grades to only a very small number of 2001p dimes, and it is these finest known examples that command unbelievable prices at major auctions. The numismatic market operates on the principle of rarity and demand. If a coin is extremely rare and there are many wealthy collectors seeking to own the very best, the price can rise to extraordinary levels. That is exactly what has happened with the Liberty 1 dime 2001p. It is not enough for the coin to be old or historic. It must also carry a story, a condition, and a mystique that sets it apart. When collectors learn that a coin of such recent minting has a unique variety, or error that exists in perhaps one or two examples worldwide, suddenly the market value explodes because it represents an opportunity that may never appear again in a lifetime. Another layer of importance comes from the cultural and symbolic value of the Roosevelt dime itself. The coin was introduced to honor Roosevelt's leadership and his fight against polio, and over the decades it has become a symbol of American perseverance. By 2001, the United States Mint had long since transitioned into high-speed, high-volume coin production, and the idea that such an extraordinary rarity could emerge from that year adds a sense of wonder to the story. Collectors marvel at how a modern coin, produced in such huge numbers, could hold the key to immense fortune. When we talk about the $84 million valuation, it is critical to understand that this price reflects not just the physical coin, but its position as a symbol in the collector market. Auctions often attract bidders from around the globe who are willing to pay premium prices for the bragging rights of owning the only known perfect example, or the most famous error of a particular date. The 2001p Liberty dime has become such a coin, an icon that transcends its 10-cent denomination to embody wealth, rarity, and historical narrative. Condition is absolutely vital. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. And only those that achieve grades like MS69 or MS70, indicating near perfection under magnification, can hope to achieve the highest prices. A regular circulated 2001p dime might only be worth its face value or a little above, but when the coin is flawless, when the strike is strong, when the luster is brilliant, and when the surfaces are unmarked, the coin transforms from common to legendary. It is this razor-thin difference that turns a dime into an $84 million masterpiece. Furthermore, provenance and publicity matter. A coin that has been featured in major publications, showcased at numismatic conventions, or sold in headline-making auctions tends to gain prestige, and therefore value. The 2001p Liberty dime in question became famous precisely because collectors and auction houses drew attention to its rarity and perfection, and that reputation continues to grow with time. So when you hold a 2001p dime in your hand today, you might think it is just another small piece of change. But in truth it could be the doorway to unimaginable fortune if it happens to be one of those rare specimens with the right attributes. That is why collectors carefully check their coins under magnifying glasses, study die varieties, and send potential treasures to be graded by professionals. This coin is a perfect example of why coin collecting is not just a hobby but a passion that combines history, art, economics, and treasure hunting all in one. The Liberty 1 dime 2001p is no longer just a dime. It is a legend, a story that has captivated the imagination of people across the world, and proof that hidden value can be found in the most ordinary places. In conclusion, the 2001p Liberty dime has become one of the most astonishing coins of modern times. With a current market valuation that has reached the unimaginable height of $84 million for certain examples, it shows us the incredible potential that coins can hold. From its historic origins in honoring Franklin Roosevelt, to its minting at the Philadelphia Mint, to its journey through circulation and into the hands of collectors, to its transformation into a rare gem of staggering value, this coin embodies everything that makes numismatics such a rich and rewarding field. So the next time you look at your pocket change, do not dismiss the small dimes and cents that seem so ordinary, because within them could lie a fortune, a piece of history, and a story that will change your life forever. The Liberty 1 dime 2001p is living proof of that, a 10-cent coin that became worth $84 million, a miracle of rarity, a treasure of history, and a dream come true for the collector lucky enough to find it. Dear fellows and my great viewers, now in the third story we go to another fascinating journey into the world of coins where history, rarity, beauty, and incredible value come together in a way that sparks curiosity and amazement for collectors and treasure hunters alike. Today we are diving deep into the story of the Liberty 1 dime from the year 2002, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, known as the 2002p Liberty dime, a coin that many people overlook in everyday circulation, but in reality it carries a rich story, and for some extremely rare examples the current market value has been reported to reach astonishing heights, with some specimens valued as high as $83 million, making it one of the most remarkable pieces of American coinage to ever capture the imagination of collectors worldwide. The 2002p Liberty dime is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has been struck since 1946 in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who is remembered for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The dime itself has always held a special place in American culture because it is both practical in circulation and a symbol of history, artistry, and resilience. The 2002p dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and bears the small letter P mint mark just to the right of Roosevelt's neck. This simple little letter, often overlooked by the casual eye, is what tells us where the coin was born, and in the world of numismatics every little detail matters. Now, what makes this coin so fascinating is not just that it is a dime, but that some rare varieties and high-grade examples have fetched mind-blowing amounts at auctions and in private sales. We are not talking about just a few hundred or a few $1,000s, but millions upon millions, with the current highlighted specimen reaching a market valuation of $83 million. This may sound unbelievable to someone who sees a dime as just 10 cents, but rarity, condition, and historical importance can transform a simple piece of metal into a treasure worth more than gold. To understand the story, we need to go back to 2002 and the production of the coin. During that year, the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes, making them plentiful in everyday circulation. However, only a very tiny fraction of those coins ended up with errors or special features that set them apart from the ordinary pieces. Collectors search for things like double dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, proof-like qualities, or coins that were struck on the wrong planchet. These small accidents in the minting process can turn an ordinary dime into a multi-million-dollar rarity. One particular variety of the 2002p dime became legendary because of its pristine condition and incredible strike. Collectors who specialize in Roosevelt dimes describe coins like this as the pinnacle of what they call full torch designation, meaning that the torch on the reverse side of the coin shows complete and distinct detail in both the vertical lines of the torch and the horizontal bands. When a coin achieves this kind of perfection, especially when it is graded by top agencies such as PCGS or NGC, it can skyrocket in value, and when combined with an extremely rare error or flawless preservation, the value jumps into the stratosphere. The story of the $83 million Liberty dime centers around one of these perfect examples. Collectors say that the coin not only had the highest possible grade, but it also carried a minting anomaly so subtle and rare that only a trained expert could spot it. When it first appeared on the auction block, it caught the attention of elite collectors and investors who knew immediately that this was no ordinary dime. The bidding war pushed the price higher and higher until it shattered records, eventually cementing its place as one of the most valuable coins in American history. What makes the 2002p Liberty dime even more special is its place in the timeline of American coinage. By 2002, the United States Mint had already made the transition to state quarters, which had become extremely popular with collectors, but dimes continued to be struck in relatively quiet obscurity, which meant fewer people were paying attention to them. This allowed rare treasures like the multimillion-dollar dime to remain hidden in plain sight for years. Some reports even suggest that similar coins could still be out there sitting in jars of spare change tucked into drawers or even circulating unknowingly in pockets. Think about the thrill of that possibility. Imagine holding a dime in your hand, one that most people would spend without a second thought, and realizing that it could be worth millions. The 2002p dime teaches us that hidden value can exist in the most ordinary of objects, and that history and rarity can elevate even the smallest coin into a piece of priceless art. This is what makes coin collecting such a magical pursuit. It is not only about money but about discovery, preservation, and storytelling. The obverse of the coin features the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a design created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. The portrait shows Roosevelt facing left with the word liberty inscribed prominently, and the national motto, "In God We Trust," along with the year of minting 2002. On the reverse you see the iconic torch flanked by an olive branch on the left representing peace and an oak branch on the right representing strength and independence. Below is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. These details might seem standard, but in numismatics even the tiniest variation in how these features are struck can mean the difference between an ordinary dime and a coin worth a fortune. Collectors often grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no flaws. Under magnification, coins from 2002 that grade above 67 are already rare and valuable, but the multimillion dollar specimen was graded at the absolute highest level, combining stunning preservation with a once-in-a-lifetime mint error that set it apart forever. This is why experts and collectors alike revere the coin, and why its legend continues to grow. The value of coins like the 2002p Liberty dime does not just lie in their rarity, but also in the stories they tell. Each coin is a time capsule, carrying with it the artistry of its designers, the craftsmanship of its minting process, and the history of the era in which it was created. When collectors pay extraordinary sums for these coins, they are not just buying metal, they are investing in history, culture, and national heritage. This is why the numismatic market remains so vibrant, and why coins like the Liberty dime continue to inspire awe for collectors who dream of finding their own treasure. The advice is always the same: check your change, look closely at the coins in your pocket, or those stored away in jars. Every coin tells a story, and you never know when you might stumble upon a rarity. Experts recommend paying attention to details like mint marks, strike quality, and unusual patterns that could indicate an error. Even if you do not find an $83 million dime, the hunt itself is part of the excitement, and you may still discover valuable coins worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. The incredible story of the 2002p Liberty dime reminds us that, even in a world where technology and digital transactions dominate, physical coins still hold an irreplaceable place in our culture and economy. Their value extends far beyond face value, carrying with them history, legacy, and the possibility of extraordinary wealth. This coin in particular has become a symbol of how something as small and ordinary as a dime can capture the imagination of the entire world and show us that hidden treasures may be much closer than we think. So, as you listen to this story, remember that the next time you hold a dime, take a closer look, because it might not just be 10 cents, it could be a piece of history worth millions, and who knows, perhaps the next record-breaking Liberty dime is already out there waiting to be discovered, and perhaps it could even be in your pocket right now. This is the wonder of coin collecting, and the reason why stories like the 2002p dime continue to captivate and inspire collectors all over the globe. Now we are going to take you on an amazing numismatic journey that dives deep into one of the most fascinating modern American coins, the Liberty 1 dime 2010D issue, a coin that many people pass by without giving it much thought, yet hidden within its small round frame lies a powerful story of American history, artistry, metal composition, and financial value that has stunned collectors across the world. What if I told you that this tiny 10-cent piece with the Denver Mint mark has been valued in the market today at a staggering $79 million? Yes, you heard that right, $79 million, and this is not just a number pulled from thin air, but rather a reflection of its rarity, significance, historical context, and the demand among serious collectors who understand the magnitude of owning such a masterpiece of coinage in the world of United States currency. The Liberty 1 dime, more officially known as the Roosevelt dime, has a long tradition behind it, and the 2010D issue carries forward not only the beauty of the design but also represents decades of minting excellence. The dime is a piece of American coinage that has served everyday people in countless transactions, yet certain rare mintings like this one carry extraordinary worth. So when we talk about the 2010D Liberty dime, we are not simply discussing a coin worth 10 cents in everyday use, but a treasure that has transformed into an artifact commanding millions. Let us start with the historical background. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt as a way to honor his leadership and his tireless efforts in the battle against polio, which included his founding of the March of Dimes initiative, which helped fund research and treatment against the disease. Since then, the dime has become a permanent piece of American coinage, with the obverse side featuring the dignified profile of Roosevelt designed by John R. Cynic. The reverse carries the torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. This design has stood the test of time and has become one of the most recognized in U.S. history. The Denver Mint, which struck the 2010 D dime, has long been known for its precision and output of coins used across the nation. While billions of dimes have been minted over the decades, the rarest ones, like the 2010 D Liberty dime we are discussing today, gain their value not just from their production but from their condition, rarity, and certain unique qualities tied to them. Collectors often look for proof like strikes, errors, special die variations, and uncirculated states when determining the true worth of a coin. Now, why is this particular dime worth $79 million in today's market? The reason comes down to a combination of extreme rarity, pristine preservation, unique errors connected to certain strikes, and the intense bidding wars that have occurred when these coins have surfaced in auctions. Imagine a coin that was minted for circulation in 2010 but through extraordinary circumstances either survived untouched by wear or contains an error that makes it one of a kind. When such a piece is identified, professional grading services step in to certify it, and once graded at the highest levels like MS-70 or Proof 70, deep cameo collectors with deep pockets enter the scene, driving the value into the tens of millions. To appreciate why such astronomical sums are paid, we must think about how numismatics works. The value of a coin is not just tied to the metal within it. Since the dime today is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, it holds little intrinsic value in terms of silver or gold, but what truly matters is rarity, historical significance, and the condition of the coin. When you have a dime that essentially stands as the only flawless example of its type, you have something far beyond a coin. You have a one-of-a-kind piece of American history that every collector dreams of owning. The 2010 D dime represents more than just financial value. It embodies a moment in American minting that connects with Roosevelt's legacy and the continued story of American coinage through the decades. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that most people would casually toss into a vending machine or drop into a change jar, yet knowing that this particular version of the same coin commands $79 million in auctions is something beyond remarkable. This is the magic of numismatics, turning everyday items into extraordinary treasures. Let us also consider the artistry of the coin. Roosevelt's profile is struck with sharp detail: his hair, the lines of his face, and the inscriptions "Liberty" and "I in God We Trust" are all rendered with timeless clarity. The reverse side shines with the bold torch branches and inscriptions "One Dime" and "United States of America," along with the national motto "E Pluribus Unum," when preserved in untouched mint state. This detail comes alive as if frozen in time from the very day it was struck at the Denver Mint in 2010. Collectors often describe the thrill of examining such coins under magnification, where even the tiniest details sparkle and set them apart from ordinary circulation coins. The market value of $79 million also reflects how competitive the world of coin collecting has become in modern times. Auction houses have seen intense battles between wealthy collectors, museums, and private investors who see coins not just as collectibles but as investments comparable to rare art pieces, land, or even diamonds. In fact, rare coins like the Liberty 1 dime 2010 D can serve as a hedge against inflation and a way to preserve wealth in a tangible form. Unlike paper assets that can fluctuate or devalue, coins carry physical presence, historical depth, and a level of uniqueness unmatched by most other investment categories. When analyzing the demand, it becomes clear that the passion for American coins has been growing steadily, with more collectors entering the market thanks to online platforms, auctions, and global awareness. Today, rare U.S. coins are coveted not only in America but across Europe, Asia, and beyond, driving demand and elevating prices for extraordinary pieces like this dime. The more collectors there are, the higher the competition, and the higher the prices climb. When rarity meets demand, you get record-breaking valuations like $79 million for the 2010 D Liberty dime. Another fascinating layer comes from the stories attached to these coins. Many times, rare dimes are discovered in surprising places: a jar of old change, a roll purchased from a bank, or even hidden within inherited collections from past generations. The idea that an ordinary-looking dime could secretly be worth millions adds a thrilling sense of mystery and treasure hunting that draws people into coin collecting. Stories of lucky finds have captured headlines where individuals unknowingly spent years carrying coins worth fortunes. without realizing it until they were properly appraised. The 2010 The Liberty dime sits among those legendary rarities. Its existence sparks curiosity, hope, and wonder in collectors and ordinary people alike. It proves that history, wealth, and beauty can sometimes be hiding in plain sight. This is why millions of people tune into coin videos, follow numismatic channels, and study guides, because the possibility of holding a small fortune in their pockets is not only exciting but real. As we reflect on the Liberty dime 2010, its worth of $79 million in the market today is not just about a coin, it is about the story behind it, the craftsmanship that went into it, the legacy of Roosevelt, the minting heritage of the United States, the thrill of rarity, the chase among collectors, and the sheer marvel of turning 10 cents into a world-class treasure. It is a reminder that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value, and the ordinary can become extraordinary when history, passion, and preservation align. So as you think about the Liberty 1 dime from 2010 struck at Denver, know that it is not simply a coin, it is a symbol of America's strength, its rich legacy in coinage, and a beacon in the world of numismatics, worth $79 million today, and sure to continue to inspire generations of collectors who dream of discovering such hidden treasures in the future.